Hello everyone. In this video we are going to talk about functions. Some are built-in Python functions, and also you can have user-defined functions. So here we are going to see Python. First we'll see built-in functions. So there's many built-in functions are there in Python. Okay, first thing is that. So that Python has built-in function to apply on some, whenever there is a requirement of certain things, you apply that. And when you can't use those functions, when there is a need of building such a function which is not there in built-in function, and also if you want to repeat the particular piece of that code, and if you want to have very neat and clean code, you should have user-defined functions which you can repeat, and you can use that during when you write the code, right? So that is why user-defined functions are well appreciated and is recognized ones that people do prefer, because they makes life very easy, and the code basically it is very clean code when you write it. So when you submit your code to another person, he can understand what you are trying to convey. So first we look built-in functions. So Python has a lot of built-in functions. Some of functions I'll talk here, which I know, and so there's the one function is called absolute. It's ABS. So what it does is, absolute functions, let's say if you have -100, so the absolute value of -100 is, if you know little bit mathematics, is +100, right? So that is absolute value. Then you have let's say one is all. So to talk about all user built-in function, let's build one list first. So if I get a list where I have some numbers, let's say like this. Here you can see we have a list of number where we have 2 and 0. So the all function will check whether the list has any value which is 0, and it will reply in true and false. So it has a 0. So let's say if I talk about all list, it will reply false, right? Because there is a 0 is here. So in Python, 0 considered as that nan 1, right? So if you place it 1, it will convert to true. So that's all. So one more function is any here. So you can have any list here. So any checks whether if any of the element of a list is 0, or if 0 then return false, if not 0 return true. So let's say if I convert this back to 0, and if it will check, then if there is a 0, it will check any of the list element, if it's 0 or non-zero. So it will have any particular element that it will check for it. Okay, so that is here now. And if I make at least one of the element is non-zero, if I make the list of 0, let's say 0 element, it will return false. So it has one element which is 0. If I make 2 element, another is non-zero, it will return true, right? So there is another function is called to convert in binary, like binary is win, you can remember like that, we are win. and you want to convert binary of 10, which can give with some additional information of 0 and b. It will add that 0 and b in the beginning, and 1010 is the binary of 10. If you don't want to have that, you can use format built-in function, and you can write one format 10, and you can escape b, so it will return 1010 like that. Correct. So this is one thing. Now you can have some is like div mod division, and what about the mod, right? Like that I remember, right? Divide, and what about that mod, right? Let's say if you divide 10 divided by 2, right? You know, right, what is 10 divided by 2, correct? So it will just give 5, correct? So div mod, if I want to divide 10 by 2, then what would be the mod? Will be 0, right? So the mod is here, this is 0, and you are dividing 10 by 2. Okay, so that's how it is. So it will give you the mod, the reminder what you have. And some are like, let's say one is enumerate, right? Basically what enumerate does, it basically gives indexing to your list. Let's say suppose you want to give a particular index to a particular list, right? So that where the enumerate function comes, right? Let's say I have a list of some element. Let's say these are elements are, and let's say a few more I'll add it. Now if I want to use enumerate function for index comma num in enumerate is, I'm taking this list, right? Then you print, sorry, you can print here index and comma num, right? So that's how it is given. So here you can see the index 0 1 2 3 4 5, and the list you can see here, all the elements of the list are here. So 0 is assigned to 2, 1 is assigned to 3, like that in incremental order. 0 is assigned to 2, 1 is assigned to 3, like that, 2 is assigned to 4, like this, right? So it is assigning the particular index to the element of a list. That's how the enumerate function works. There is another function is called evaluate, right? So what it does, let's say you have some number, let's say 5, right? Now you want to you have some equation, you want to put these x is equal to 5 in that equation and see. So let's say if you have x to plus x plus 4, let's do that. So it will place the x here and calculate this well. Okay. So here is there is one type error is must be string, so you can place this under this, and you can see it's 19. So we put this 5 into 2 is equal to 10, 10 plus 5 is 15, 4 is 19. That's how it does that. Okay, so like this there are many functions are there, and so if you really want to know that, you know, from this IPython notebook, you want to understand what is there, you can type help and you can write here, let's say list, I have 1 2 3, I just want to understand what I can do on the list, right? So it is saying help on the list object. So here inside you have a list, so these are the things you can do. You can add, contains, all these are the things you can do over the list, right? And you can check it here yourself. And let's say if you want to check it over the dictionary. Here this is set, let's say this is set, I'll make it set, it will take over the set. So it is telling the help, you can see help on the set object, so it will tell that what all the things you can do. Now let's talk about the list. As you know, the list has some index and values. I am just giving that, and you see here to talk about here you can see over the dictionary what all the things you can do, right? Okay, so this is how you can type help and see what other things you can do it here. And there is one function is called id, right? So let's say if you have some list, let's say for example I have list 1 2 3 and I have another list y is equal to 3 5 9. Now I want to check the id of x. So id of x is this number. This is the particular id in the memory location. Sorry, this is the particular id is given to this x. And if you want to check the id of y, it is given this is the different from this, you can see that, right? And so these two lists has different memory location. And if I give here a condition x is equal to y, so I have this memory. Now if I check the id for y, it will be the same, but here I have given a condition x is equal to y, so it saves the memory based on the condition. When you don't give this condition, it gives two different location for these two lists, so that you can perform the operation, right? And let's say if you want to check what is the minimum out of these two lists, so you can give min x comma y, right? It will throw you the minimum one. So minimum is 1 to 3, as you can see. If you want to check the max you can see here is max of x and y, x comma y, see 359. If I have this condition, it will have a same memory location, as you can see here, and then min and max will be the same, correct? So this is the catch here, right? Okay, so it will always go to the second one. If I revert it back like this, it works. Okay, and you know the many functions like I think length. You can check the length of x. What is length of x is 3, because they are the 3 elements. You can check the length of y because they are the 3 elements. Like that you can check. Okay, and you have functions like power. You can see power of 3 comma 2, right? 9, 3 into 3 into 9, right? Power of 4 into 2, you can check 16, right? You can also have function is called round, right? Round of, let's say 12.33333 and comma 2. I just want to have a 2 decimal digit. You can give this. So these all are the built-in functions, are very important when you are trying to calculate some data and some, let's say some numbers out of your data analysis, and you want to round up to the 2 decimal digits. You want to really, so you use these small functions there, right? What is the length of the string, and how to iterate over the length of the list, and how to iterate over that length. So there where you use this length function, so that you can how big is your list and how to iterate it. And this is when you calculating the performance matrix, accuracy, right? You can round it and say that I want my till 3 decimal digit. So you can use these small built-in functions there. That's why they are there for you to use, right? And so now let's come back to the user-defined function. So if I come back to the user-defined function, so let's take it on. So here I will talk user-defined function, right? So user-defined functions how you do that. So you should remember is user defined, you take the def or from the defined, because you are going to define that function. And let's say if you are going to have get of x, okay, let me just write it, and return what you want to return x, and you want to add let's say ing in that. So what you are saying, I have something x, and when you return it, you add it plus ing. So basically, let's say if I, so what I was trying to say, let's say if I give x is equal to, let's say, walk, right? So what it will do, it will go to here, it will see this function, and what it says, the return x plus ing, so it will return walking. So I'm going to give this. So it will going to return walking, right? If I say talking, because it is taking this talk plus adding ing, right? So there is one thing, some you use return, and sometimes you even use print. You can also use the print here. So what you're trying to say, when you print it, you print this with ing, so that you have to write it like this in Python now. Okay, so what you are saying, that if I say get, let's say I'll change it this just to avoid a confusion from first one to here. So I have defined fet, and if I give fet and I give walk, it will print walking. Did you notice the difference here? It is under that two small, that nos is here, and here you can see it is without that particular define that cursor, right? So this is the difference here, you can see that, right? Okay, so this is the one thing you should see, column, like how it is. So this is the difference, because if you are so what you are trying to say here, please return me with ing, okay, and please print with ing. So the difference is you cannot do few things with the print, but you can do some. So it's like when user defined function can be utilized again and again and again, right? So and in the user defined function with return, you can apply another function on top of it.